For a long time, we viewed a substance use disorder as a solitary struggle. It is often treated as an isolated condition, a personal failure that exists entirely in a vacuum. But people don't live in vacuums. They live inside ecosystems. A family operates as an interconnected whole, where every member is tethered by invisible threads of behavior, expectation, and emotion. When a severe disruption hits that network, like a substance use disorder, the entire ecosystem feels the impact. The shock waves pull immediately at every connection. The immediate instinct of the people attached to that person is to keep the unit from collapsing. They absorb the tension, shifting their own weight and changing their positions to counterbalance the strain. Psychologists call this maladaptive accommodation. Without even realizing it, family members alter their own behaviors, rewrite their boundaries, and lower their expectations just to cope with the daily chaos. This looks like a spouse quietly taking on all the household responsibilities, or parents ignoring clear transgressions to maintain a fragile, temporary peace at the dinner table. Day by day, those temporary adjustments harden. The new dynamic crystallizes into a permanent, highly distorted version of normal. By adapting to survive the immediate crisis, the family builds a structural scaffold around the disorder, unintentionally keeping the behavior securely in place. The standard medical response to this crisis is extraction. We pull the struggling individual out of their environment, sending them away to be treated in isolation. In that separated space, the person slowly works through recovery. They build new coping mechanisms, establish healthy boundaries, and stabilize their behavior, all while completely removed from their family network. But back home, the ecosystem they left behind hasn't changed. The family remains frozen in that rigid, maladapted shape they formed to survive the act of addiction. The vulnerability arrives the day the individual comes back. They carry new, healthy boundaries straight into the old, unhealed environment. The structure immediately pushes back. Unchanged patterns exert immense pressure, aggressively pulling at them to fit back into the empty space. This creates what is known as systemic regression. The sheer weight of the environment forces the individual to conform to the established, flawed dynamic just to keep the peace. The stress of fighting that constant environmental pull breaks down the new boundaries, directly triggering a return to previous coping mechanisms and substance use. Treatment in isolation leaves the surrounding network untouched, meaning the recovery only lasts until the individual re-enters the environment that helped create the problem. A more effective approach treats the entire relational ecosystem simultaneously, rather than focusing solely on the isolated individual. This requires strict prerequisites. Involving significant others only happens when it is clinically appropriate, physically safe for everyone involved, and fully consented to by the person in recovery. When those conditions are met, systemic therapy begins. Family members and partners actively work alongside the individual, putting in the effort to identify and unlearn their own maladaptive behaviors. By treating the whole system, those rigid relational patterns can be consciously dismantled and rewritten in tandem with the individual's recovery. The old triggers are replaced by newly established healthy boundaries, creating a robust support structure where everyone carries an equal share of the weight. Instead of pulling the individual back into a cycle of addiction, the healed network actively absorbs external stress and builds resilience against relapse. Lasting recovery requires looking past the individual to the network holding them. Transforming the family system provides the interconnected foundation necessary for lifelong healing.